Good morning, everybody. This is Robin from Roaming with Rover, and this is Finish It Friday. Well, guess what? We are still working on the vest, and we are making progress. We had a little bit of a problem, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But first, I want to talk about some happy mail. We've been getting some wonderful happy mail from people, and I want to show you a little bit. We're getting some wonderful Christmas cards. I got this beautiful Christmas card. Isn't that pretty? We got that from Miss Cynthia from Cynthia's Joyful Creations. Isn't that so pretty? Yeah, and it says, wishing you bright and beautiful season of joy, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. So pretty. I love getting Christmas cards. I really do. And this one is from My Precious Yarnery from Angela, and it had the coolest thing in there. It's her calendar for the whole year. And I love this because I'm always looking for a calendar for stuff. So I'm going to put this, I don't know exactly where yet, but I'm going to put it in with my crochet stuff somewhere. That's going to be front and center. So thank you ever so much, Angela, from My Precious Yarnery. And I got this from Miss Pinky Jean. Miss Pinky Jean of the famous flamingos, and look what she made me. I love this. It's a snowflake. Can you see that? The shadows are so bad in here today. It's a snowflake bookmark. Isn't that pretty? I always forget that she crochets. There. Isn't that the prettiest thing? But I always forget that she crochets. And then lo and behold, here's this beautiful snowflake bookmark. There you go. Oh, it looks real pretty against my red sweater. There. And lo and behold, one of those, her beautiful snowflakes shows up. I just love that. It reminds me of the snowflakes that my grandma used to make when we were little. That's very special to me. And then AJ of AJ's Personal Choice sent me this, so cute. And I love the kitties and the look on that kitty's face. Isn't that precious? And it says Bob. Kitty's name is Bob, and it says bells on Bob's tail ring. So cute. And then she put some tea in there, and it's Christmas in Paris. Ooh, Christmas in Paris. Wow, interesting. Cocoa shells, peppermint, lavender, natural chocolate flavor, and vanilla extract. I have been on a tea kick. In fact, I'm drinking my tea right now. I have been drinking tea every single morning. So this is wonderful. I'm going to save this and drink it on Christmas morning. Thank you so much, AJ. Thank you so much, everybody who sent the cards. It's always such a nice surprise to get something like that in the mail. So I really appreciate all those lovely little surprises that I've been getting in the mail. Thank you, everybody, for the time that you spend with me and watching our videos. I know you've got a lot to do, and I know that it's such a busy time, and I appreciate the time that you take to watch these videos. It means a great deal to me, and I have no other way of thanking you other than to doing this right here and letting you know how much that we really do appreciate that. If you get any kind of enjoyment, any kind of pleasure out of this, I'd appreciate it if you give me a little thumbs up, and subscribe if you'd like. It does help us tremendously. We do have some fun things coming up. Of course, every Monday night is bingo. Typically, every Tuesday we have an interview, and not this Saturday, but next Saturday, which should be the last day of, New Year's, I believe. I should have been prepared. See, now where's that calendar that I need? I told you I needed calendars. So yeah, it'd be the 31st. So New Year's Eve day, I'm going to have a special live show. So I hope you'll join us. We've got a whole bunch of fun things to talk about and a couple of announcements. So I hope you'll join us for a little short live that day on the 31st. So let's talk about Finish It Friday. The vest. We're working on the vest for Mr. and it's coming along nicely. It is, should have been done. It is not. What did I do? So as you know, we've been having, this thing is just fraught with problems. Of course, the main problem we had was the issue with the different colors of yarn, and I got the whole back done, and I thought I had the whole front done, and I thought, this is not looking right. This is supposed to be a V-neck vest. Why does the front look exactly like the back? And I kept reading the instructions and reading the instructions. It just wasn't working out right. There's a video, and I'm watching the video, and he's doing the same little decrease things, and I thought, okay, I'm just going to keep going. Should have watched the video all the way through. He very clearly states on the instructions, you get to this spot on the instructions, and you stop. And then you jump over here and you do this part. I didn't do that. And I kept going. And I finished the whole entire thing. And it looked just like this. And there was no V. And I could not figure out what I was doing wrong. So I should have known that Mikey was not going to steer me wrong. So I went back and I watched the entire video. If I would have spent half an hour watching his video, I would have saved myself 2 entire days of crocheting, because then I had to rip this thing back from like this all the way down. I ripped all this out. So now I've got it ripped back down to this. All that I had to rip out. And then I watched his video, and he said, it was even confusing for him to keep track of what he was doing, because there's increases and there's decreases and there's switching sides and back and forth. So he created himself a little chart, and he said, take a screenshot of this chart and print it out. And that's what he did. So that's what I did. I printed his little chart out, and he said, this is the left side. When you're done with this, you're going to do it on the right side. And so that's what I did. I printed that chart out, and I adjusted the number of stitches I was going to need for the size I was making. And this is where I am now. So I am working on the, oh Lord, I hope I'm doing this right. I should be working on the, the left neck, but I think I'm working on the right neck. But anywho, I think it's going to be the same, because you do the same on both sides. So here I am. Yeah, because this is the front of my vest, right? Yep, here's the front. So I've even done that backwards. So this is the front of my vest, and so this is the right side. But the left side and the right side are exactly the same. In fact, you just take his little chart and you flip it for the other side. And so I'm doing my decreases on this side on every row. And I'm almost done with this side. I'm on row 10 of 16. So I'm getting there. And it's going pretty quick, because, you know, you've only got this many stitches that you're doing. So once I got that thing all figured out last night, and I didn't work on it yesterday, I was so disgusted after I tore that all out. But once you get going back on it, you don't have, it's not that big. Oh, see, that just looks weird. That's supposed to be the arm. I don't know. By the time I get the ribbing on there, I just got to trust Mikey. He's not going to steer me wrong. Just pay attention to Mikey, and it should be fine. Right? Right? So that's where we are in the vest. No way it's going to be done by Christmas. But I never promised it to him by Christmas. I was just hoping I would have it done. What is today? Today is Friday. The 23rd, 24th, 25th. No, not going to happen. But we'll see. It'll be close. It'll be close. But there we are. The vest. The vest. It's getting there. It's getting there. And if we look at it like this, And we have our front and our back. It connects here. And see, this is how high up we go, like that. So yeah, you can kind of see it taking shape there. And then this side's gonna look like this. So yeah, you can see that it's starting to look like a vest. Yeah. Yeah, it's getting there. It's not horrible. I was sure mad yesterday though. I was so mad when I had to rip out this much of that thing. I was not happy, but it's my own fault. I should have, I mean, how many times have I told you guys, read through the instructions, read through the instructions. And the thing that threw me was, I knew this. It goes, because you had to go from the double star to the double star. But then you still continued after the double star. And then it said continue even in pattern until the armhole measures 8 inches. And I felt like it should say, because you had this double star, and then you still had to do this stuff, and it should have said here, it should have said now for the continue, like to go to where it says for the front, or if this is, you know, switch to the front now, or something like that, so that you knew clearly that you were going to now be jumping over here to the front. I don't know. That's just me. And that's the joy of reading patterns. They're not always written completely clear. And that is why I like the combination of a written pattern and a good quality video, because they are not always clear. And I'll be honest, if I had to always rely on a written pattern, I wouldn't get a lot of projects finished. And my count would, on this particular pattern, my count would be off. On one of the things, it says on here, it clearly says on here, chain 1, single crochet 2 together. Do the pattern stitch across 24 stitches. Single crochet 2 together. I would have done single crochet 2 together. I would have 1 stitch. Then I would have done 24 stitches. I would now have 25 stitches. And then I would have single crocheted 2 together. So I would have ended up with 26 stitches. Because he had his video, he made it very clear I should have ended up with a total of 24 stitches. This here in the pattern should have stated for a total of 24 stitches at the end of the row. But it doesn't say that. And that's why when those of you who write patterns, at the end of the row, please tell me the total number of stitches I need, because to me that is very confusing. That is very confusing, because I'm not doing in pattern 24 more stitches. It's total for the entire row. So, and it's just little things like that that make it confusing to crochet, and especially for new crocheters. So, yeah. And it's kind of been like that throughout this whole pattern. So, just tell me what I should have. Tell me where I should be. Because I can fix stuff if I've messed it up. But if I don't know I've messed up, I can't fix it. And it makes me not want to crochet. It makes me not want to try new things. It makes me not want to try wearables, because wearables have to fit. And that's why I always do blankets. And that's the honest truth. That's why I don't branch out into things like this, because you make a 1 or 2 stitch mistake on the pattern and it doesn't fit, or it looks wonky and it looks homemade. And that's why people don't like handmade items. So those of you who write patterns, that's the kind of thing to take into account in order to keep our craft alive. Just my 2 cents. Anywho, we're going to get it done. Mister will wear it no matter what. And, but you know, I want it to look nice. I want him to be proud of it. I want to be proud of it. Because if it doesn't look nice, I'm not going to want him to wear it. And I'm certainly not going to make another one. And that's the other reason I like a written pattern. So I can print it out and make all these little notes all over it. But boy, this turned into a Finish It Friday rant, didn't it? But anyway, that's just me. That's the kind of things that I need to know. That's the kind of things I need to know when I'm working on a written pattern. I need to know how many stitches I should have at the end of a row. So if they're not, I can figure out what I've done wrong and I can fix it. And I also need to know if it's important, if I should be working on the right side or the wrong side, because that makes a difference. So anyhow, that's it. I can see the finish line on this thing. I'll get her done in the next few days, but you know, it's right before Christmas. It's getting insanely busy and I may or may not get it done. We'll see, but it'll get done eventually. So that's it. Thank you guys so very much for popping in. This ended up being way longer than I expected. I will talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, all the things. Bye-bye.